welcome to the Let It Fly show. My name is Michael Smith, joined by Josh Jones from Omaha Central and Creighton University. Of course, we got a good guest this week.
Yeah.
Steven Ashworth, starting point guard.
Mr. Responsibility.
Combo guard.
I say combo
guard for the Creighton Blue Jays. We'll chat with him. But, of course, we are inside the Let It Fly Sports Bar in the Capital District, the place to go to watch your games, get your food, hang out with your boys, your girls, whoever it is.
Whatever.
Yes, and, of course, brought to you by Bud Light, our chief sponsor. No matter where you are in the state, no matter where you're watching games, no matter what games you're watching, it's the thing to drink for you. It is Bud Light. We appreciate them being our sponsor and being around for each one of those. Remember, easy to drink and easy to enjoy. So what's going on with you?
I'm just waiting for sports. I'm going to tell you something, man. Listen to this.
Yeah.
Steph Curry should have his games played on pay-per-view when he played like that.
Oh, because he was proving that it was his house.
Man, listen. Yeah. I can make an argument for, like, top 5 of all time.
Yeah. Whose house? Run's house.
Like, no. I'm being so serious with my statement about top 5. Like, reason why,
of all time?
Of all time. 100%.
That's bold.
Yeah. Like, at least if I'm pushing 5, I say 7. Because
I'm gonna give you Jordan.
Yep.
I'm gonna give you LeBron.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Respect.
Are you putting him ahead of Larry Bird?
Yes, sir. I am. 4 rings, greatest shooter of all time.
Okay.
Like, I am.
Like, they didn't shoot threes when Larry was shooting threes.
No. Like, yeah.
I get what you're saying. It's a little bit different.
His dominance.
Yeah. What do you, Magic?
Also, yep.
You put him ahead of Magic.
Greatest point guard of all time is Steph Curry. After what just happened. Yeah. After I say the Olympics, I say his 4th ring, and the finals MVP that he got. I know Magic was different, and we're not comparing eras because you only as good as your contemporary. He can't help he was born when he was born. Yeah. But I think he has, I mean, it's 2 perspectives. One perspective is like, nah, you can't even say that. Magic was transcending. Yeah, but Steph Curry is transcending a generational talent too. So it's a legit argument. And so to me, I feel like it go Michael Jordan, and this is like an unbiased thing. Yeah, sure. Because my bias got Kobe in the top 3, but I'll say Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I gotta say Bill Russell.
I was gonna say Bill Russell and Will Chamberlain, both really good players.
Right, but then I'll say Bill Russell, and then my 5 would be, if I can't put Steph at 5, I'll put Magic at 5, Steph at 6 or 7.
But you'd like to put Kobe in there somewhere.
Somewhere. Okay. I like Kobe in the top 7, but I just think what this man is doing is like never seen before. Right. He got the accolades for it, and like he's 6'3". Yep. That's why I'm saying that. Okay.
All right. That will be, I'm sure, an argument.
Yes.
That once he retires.
What do you think?
Once he retires, that'll be an argument that they're going to be having. You know, they need more stuff for that. Right. What's that morning show on ESPN? They need more. They need more stuff for that show.
Because if you can compare LeBron James and argue who the GOAT, why can't you go argue who the golden point guard?
And they do. You hear the Magic thing. Yeah. It's like players, you know, they'll talk about, because as a facilitator, Magic's probably the greatest facilitator of all time.
Hands down.
Yeah, probably the greatest of all time as a facilitator.
Hands down.
The man.
I think so.
Let's just start talking about the fact that the triple-double stuff as a facilitator. The man, no one's ever, the only person.
John Stockton? But check this out. Magic, even when he retired, he was still on pace to be uncatchable when it comes to assists.
Magic is the greatest facilitator in the history of this sport.
No, I agree.
Yeah, I'm not
arguing that.
I'm talking about the guy over there, sitting over the side over there.
Yeah. I feel that. But that's a legit argument that Steph could be as good as Magic.
Let me just tell you this. Yeah. Okay, so there were 10 years in the 1980s. 10. Usually there's 10 years in a decade.
Magic probably was in the final for a decade. Don't tell me that.
8 times.
That's crazy.
1-5.
That is crazy.
I'm just saying. And playing against arguably the Celtics with the collection they had. Yeah. You know, having Parrish, having McHale, having Bird, having those guys were, for their era, were incredible. Right. And he had to beat them, and then he had to get by the Sixers of the early 80s were an incredible squad.
Did he win a ring as a rookie?
Yes, 1980. He won. He didn't win Rookie of the Year because Bird did, but he won in 3 years. Right. He won a state championship, a national championship, and a world championship.
Wow.
Yeah.
Respect.
It was pretty good.
Now,
he was a pretty good player.
And Curry, the only ever unanimous MVP. I'm trying to think about the dynasty.
You got to blame the stupid media for that because there should have been some before that. But
yeah. Oh, like Shaq.
Oh, yeah, Shaq. I mean, I
like
think
that.
Jordan a couple of times probably should have won.
Yeah, Jordan. Yeah. All right, yeah, respect.
Yeah.
But Dave, that is crazy. I won a state championship, a national championship, and a world championship.
Yeah.
Like, that's unthinkable.
Yeah, he just won championships.
I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah, and he had a little down spot in like 84, 85. Yeah. But then he ended his before everything. They won the 87 and 88 back to back, and they're there again in 89.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't pull his hamstring and Byron Scott gets hurt, I don't know. Maybe they beat the Pistons in 89.
I think I'm just frustrated because like Steph is like his 3-point.
He is a one of one.
Yeah,
he's
like Magic.
No doubt.
It's like what he. It's not about his. So it's not about him making threes. It's about his 3-point threat is as much of a threat as Magic was as a passer. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I don't know who, like.
And let me tell you, I watched Dell play in college. Okay. Because the Metro Conference, Tulane, he would come to town. He play. I watched Dell Curry play.
Word.
Dell Curry's one of the best shooters I ever saw.
Okay.
His son is 3 times the shooter he was.
Dang.
So just saying how good of a shooter he is. We had some great shooters. Pistol Pete was an incredible shooter. Could shoot from everywhere all over the court. They didn't know 3-point line back then.
For sure.
They could shoot from everywhere. Steph is the next level past what Pistol Pete was with some of the greatest shooters of all time. And Larry, now if there was a 3-point line and Larry had those points, it would have been incredible. Because that dude could shoot. Yeah. He was incredible. Like, when he went in the 3-point shot contest, and I said there was a line, they just didn't shoot many.
For sure.
I remember looking back in 1987, the average amount a team shot attempts was 6.
So that means the whole culture is shooting more threes.
Just everything's changed. Yeah, and a big reason for that change is Steph Curry.
For sure.
So this weekend, lots going on. Obviously, Nebraska volleyball's playing tonight. Thursday, as we're taping.
Yeah.
They'll play again on Saturday. They've only got 1 loss on the season.
Man.
Creighton's only got 2 losses on the season. They got senior day coming up on Sunday. Lots going on. Man. They're very good.
I always throw that out because I feel like they're underrated and under-respected with how good they are.
Yeah, it's good they finally got, because they couldn't get past that 7-6 spot.
Yeah, right.
And now they got moved up past that. Don't forget Friday night.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the fight's going to be on here, right?
Yes.
So Tyson and Paul, that'll happen on Friday night.
We're going to talk about that in a second.
That's big. That'll be happening. Then Saturday, of course, Nebraska plays 3 o'clock in SoCal against USC.
Right.
So we'll preview that coming up in a second. And then you got Sunday, and you got good games on Sunday,
I'm
NFL.
trying to tell
so you
you.
got, just starts off Green Bay, Chicago, the oldest rivalry in the NFL.
Green Bay, Chicago.
They played the most games.
Wow.
No one's played more games against each other than them two.
Okay.
Then you got Baltimore, Pittsburgh, which may be the most violent rivalry happening. Everybody's always just butting heads in that one.
Right.
And then at nighttime, what do you get? You get Kansas City heading to Buffalo.
Man, so
it's a good Sunday, man.
So 2 things.
It's a good Sunday.
Let's start with the last thing you said.
Yeah.
I just kind of feel like the way Kansas City is playing, it don't matter about the nail biters, the squeeze me's, the surviving events. Sometimes it's favorable, and you can tell when it's a championship season. And
this is not it.
I think that they're going to win.
I think they lose this week to Buffalo, but that doesn't mean they're going to lose the championship. I think they lose this week to Buffalo.
No.
They go to Buffalo, they lose.
I was about to say, I think that if they don't lose to Buffalo, they're going to lose when it counts the most.
Yeah, nice. I hate when people, say, it's a good time to lose. It's never a good time to lose, right?
But
you're right. There is a moment in life where the pressure of being undefeated overwhelms the talent you have.
It does.
So not being undefeated, we saw that with the Patriots.
I mean, they're getting off on stuff that is out of their control, like missed field goals.
Well, the block field goal where nobody blocks the defensive line.
Right.
That was absolutely crazy. And in that game, there's a 3rd down play, right? Kansas City's in a little bit of trouble. There's a 3rd down play. They get sacked. They call a illegal contact.
Illegal contact, yeah.
There's nowhere on the replay you see it.
Right.
It doesn't exist.
Right.
But all of a sudden, it's illegal contact, and they get to go down. They go out and score a touchdown.
Man.
Changes the game.
Sports.
But that's what they get. That's what they get occasionally.
Yeah,
and then Friday night, you got Mike Tyson, 58 years old, against Logan Paul. Is he 28?
He got to be 28.
Something like that?
Yeah.
A lot of big difference.
Right.
Mike Tyson looks like he looked when he was about 25.
And that's what I was about to say. You're not tripping off his age, are you?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Because there's one thing you can't control.
It's father time.
And wind.
For sure.
Wind is a mother.
Yeah.
And I know it's only 2-minute rounds, which is great. It's only 2-minute rounds. But still, it's one thing to be sparring. And the fighters will tell you this. One thing to be sparring, another thing to be in the ring for real.
Right.
Your breathing gets elevated.
Yep.
Your wind goes faster.
Right.
How is he going to be If he doesn't take Paul out in the first 3 rounds, how's he going to be round 5, 6, 7 at the age of 58? I don't know.
Now, so me, man.
I think he can catch him, though. He can catch Paul.
I think I'm a bigger boxing fan nowadays than basketball.
Okay.
I try to find a second act in the latter part of my life past me playing sports. And I say that to say I've been following this whole build-up heavy. Yeah. Because I've been trying to wait and see, like, oh, this ain't stage, or like, oh, they for real.
Yeah, for real.
And one thing that I noticed is, so when they first did the press conference, Tyson was an entertainer, Mike Tyson. He was joking. He was pushing them and all that. Like, are we trying to sell the fight? I know I'm Mike Tyson and people are watching this for me, but you're a big YouTuber fighter. I want to put some respect on Jake Paul. I mean, you fought that many fights. You're a boxer. Even if you're an amateur or whatever, you're still a boxer. Yep. But I say that to say, now we get close to fight week. I feel like Mike Tyson as a person, I think he'd be like bottling up like the monster in him or something.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Like, he ain't no joking, ain't no playing. He's still doing I think he got instincts that can really, like, I think he's capable of committing a crime if he don't control himself.
This is a man with his amateur fights. Yeah. That's got something like 80 total fights in his life.
I mean,
he's been fighting since he was 12, 13 years old. Man. At a high level. By the way, he's plus 240. If you like Tyson, you get plus 240.
But don't you feel like he just been kind of like saying less because, like,
he said the other day that he says, I have never been a hero to my children, and this is my chance to show my children who I am.
Wow.
And when he said that, chills ran up my arm, and I was like, he gonna kill Jake Paul. He gonna kill him.
Hey,
he gonna kill him.
I'm gonna be honest, like,
it was good.
I watched him spar, and I feel like he's sharp enough and got enough experience that Jake, like, I think he's scared.
Jake ain't never been in the ring with somebody like this.
No.
Ever.
Because he's not just fighting a boxer. He's fighting Mike Tyson.
He's fighting a killer.
Yes.
He's fighting a killer.
And that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, he's fighting a killer.
Yeah, he's walking around with something different. He's been suppressing, bro.
Yeah, it could be ugly, man.
Hey, something funny was when he went back to Brownsville, and people was swarming around him and stuff like that. And one dude came up and was like, hey, let me get a pitch. You robbed me when I was 8. He's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that.
I was a different man. I was a different person back then. Oh, man, Mike Tyson. Yeah, that's going to be crazy. Friday night on Netflix. Man, there's no way I don't watch.
You got to watch Mike Tyson.
And I was not, okay, so growing up, I was not, or that age group, I was not a Tyson fan.
Word. Why
I was
not?
a Holyfield fan.
Oh, okay.
I was living in Houston. Holyfield came to train in Houston.
Word.
I was a Holyfield fan. I was a Holyfield fan the whole time.
Word.
And when the fight comes around, I'll never forget, I'm standing there, we're watching it in a garage. I'm standing outside the garage. That's how pay-per-views back then.
For sure.
You know, you couldn't afford a pay-per-view.
Yeah, no doubt.
And so we're standing in the garage, we're watching this. I'm a Holyfield. I'm yelling for Holyfield. And I remember early in the fight, Holyfield was getting to him. Like, we hadn't really seen anybody get to him yet.
Right.
And I thought, man, he's got a shot. And then everything kind of got crazy. And, you know, but I remember thinking to myself, if you pressure back then, young Mike Tyson, if you pressured him and forced him out of it, he really didn't have a second thing to go to.
Right.
But now he's 58.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Paul can pressure him.
No.
Like anybody. Lennox Lewis obviously pressured him and beat him. You know, Riddick Bowe. Not Riddick Bowe.
But you just named all-time greats.
Yeah.
You talking about Jake Paul?
Yeah, it's Jake Paul. We got what, 11 fights?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying on
11
that.
fights,
I'm not trying to disrespect his name. I'm just saying, like,
I was thinking about,
I don't like. He probably put in a lot of work, but you fighting against a guy with so many fights,
I know,
so much experience, so much on the line.
It's nostalgia for us, though.
Yeah,
because the word nostalgia is you remembering the best of those times.
For sure.
You don't remember the bad stuff.
Yeah, right.
You remember the best of the times.
Right.
So we remember Mike Tyson as a killer. Now, can he be that guy again at 58?
Yeah, we're going to see.
I walk upstairs. I be breathing hard. I'm 55.
Yeah. Somebody like gave a take. I don't think it's a bad take. I think it's a good take. It's just against how I see it. But the perspective was like this. It was like, man, he said the last fight that I remember Mike Tyson was Chad McBride. And how he went out. And he said if he loses to Jake Paul, he's like, all this is for me is a full circle of why Mike Tyson was Mike Tyson when he lost to Chad McBride. So I'm like, dang, people are looking at this like in a lot of different perspectives.
Didn't he fight Roy Jones?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he fought
Roy Jones.
And he wasn't in the shape he's in now.
But Roy Jones said he punched like a horse, like a mule kick.
And he wasn't in the shape
that
he's in now. And he's had a full year and a half
Roy
to get
Jones
here.
said that the ref said, no headshots because it's an exhibition. Yeah. And if you swing at the head, you're done. He said, I still protected my head because Mike couldn't control himself.
Yeah, okay. Well, all right. We're excited for it. Headlines. Number one headline, Nebraska, I mentioned, going to play USC. It is something's got to give. You got one team that's lost 4 of the last 5, and they're sitting at 4-5. Another team that's lost 3 in a row, they're sitting at 5-4. One team changed their starting quarterback.
Yeah.
The other team brought in a whole new offensive coordinator. It is crazy. Now, they played 5 times ever. 4-0-1.
I just remember
never.
Courtney Grigsby.
Yeah, 2014.
Come on, man.
So that's 20.
No,
2007.
2007.
So yeah, 2006 game, 2007 game. Nebraska went out there and lost.
Yep.
Came back here. And then in 2014, they go out to the Holiday Bowl. Remember, they had fired Bo Pelini.
I remember.
So now Mike Rollins will be taking over, and that was a great game.
It was
45-42.
It was.
It was a shootout.
Right.
Let me tell you. It's not going to be that on Saturday.
I'm not laughing like that.
It's not going to be that on Saturday. I will tell you this about USC.
Yeah.
They're as close to a Pac-12 team as any of the teams that have joined the Big Ten. And what I mean by that is they run the ball the fewest amount of times.
Right.
They throw the ball the second most amount of times. They get the majority of their first downs on first and second down without getting the third down. And they're the same way in terms of defense.
Yep.
Right? So they're kind of a true Pac-12 team.
For sure.
Because of that, they've gone against these teams with these big offensive lines and big defensive lines, like a Minnesota.
Yep.
And even though they have more talent, they've been getting pushed around late in games.
Right.
So Nebraska's got to be physical.
Yeah.
Be very physical with them and win this game late.
In this stretch that they're going through, this is the game to win. Because of what you said.
Yeah.
I think that it's
and
kinda,
Wisconsin's at home, so
Yeah.
you got a little bit of advantage there. But this is definitely a game where they can, they can push the team
Wisconsin.
around.
Well,
Wisconsin's at home.
But I'm just saying though, like it's one of those things where they got to get acclimated to the new conference.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
and they have not been.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, I think that right there is Nebraska's strong point to win. If they don't capitalize off of that, them getting acclimated, USC getting acclimated to the new conference, it's going to look like the last game.
Jaden Maiava is the quarterback they're bringing in. He played last year at UNLV. I watched a lot of them at UNLV last year. It was a bet. Let's just call them a bet-on team last year. They were fun to bet on. Big arm, big strong kid, 6'4", 220. Now, he does put the ball in harm's way a lot. They call him turnover-worthy plays. He had 24 of them last year.
Yep.
So he puts the ball in harm's way, especially in the middle of the field. So Nebraska may get some turnovers. You may see that. But he can run, though. He's a big kid who can take off running. So Nebraska got to keep him in the pocket. They got to do that. One of the most interesting things about this kid is that he plays with, I always say, plays with blinders.
Yep.
Okay, so he sees the wide receiver. If it's crossers and you got a defender coming this way or defender coming this way, he doesn't normally see those guys.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about him, but he doesn't see them.
He
and
gonna
this
get
happens to a
people
lot of
hurt,
quarterbacks.
bro.
Well, what happens a lot of times is that he ends up throwing a pick because of that.
Man,
and that's why almost all of his picks that he's thrown have been in the middle of the field.
Man.
Because if you look at the sideline, all you got to worry about is the sideline.
Yeah,
Nobody's coming off the sideline.
I'm just thinking about injury.
Oh, yeah, he could get a guy lit up, too. throw a dead ball.
Right.
Put somebody in that. They got a really good running back in Woody Marks, probably one of the most complete backs in the Big Ten. Zachariah Branch, who won the Jet Award last year.
I know.
Good return man, good wide receiver. Had his first 100-yard game against Washington last week before the bye.
Word.
So he's playing his best ball. Here's what the good news for Nebraska offense is. This team, again, like a Pac-12 team, does not rush the quarterback.
Right.
They have the fewest amount of sacks in all the Big Ten. Their havoc is not great. They just don't get after. They don't knock down balls. They don't force fumbles. They don't do the things that a lot of Big Ten teams do.
Right.
So it's kind of a good thing for Nebraska. Nebraska is causing a lot of havoc. They actually are fourth in the Big Ten in sacks and getting pressure. So that's one thing you can point to and say it's good for Nebraska. The defense for USC didn't tackle well last year. Started this season tackling better. Now they're back to not tackling well again.
Right.
So, it's kind of like playing golf, right? You're on the range and you're hitting the ball well. You get back out on the course and that's kind of how they've been a little bit as well. They do have the number one punter in the Big Ten. They are ranked number one in punting, 48.2 yards on 30 total punts. So they do have that going for them.
Right.
We'll give you keys later, but that's kind of a rundown of what it is.
Yep.
Headline number 2, basketball. 2 3-0 teams in Nebraska and Creighton.
Yep.
Let's start with Creighton. What have you seen you like? What have you seen maybe you don't like?
Well, what I like is the new identity. I mean, Mac is such a good coach. I like how he brings the strengths of people and just put them together and make them just lean on that, and then when it comes to the weaknesses, he's really good at not exposing that. So
he's protecting them.
Yeah. So I think they gel well. They got some athletes. They got a lot of role player shooters. Yeah. I think I'm excited about the chemistry of that. What I don't like is who gonna back up Kalkbrenner when he get tired. Like, I know Fred King is back and he's doing his thing, but I thought he was about to transfer.
Yeah, I think Isaac, too, is kind of a guy that they're thinking about going up to 5'2". I think that's your two
Oh,
main
like an
guys.
undersized 5?
Yeah.
I feel it.
And then they'll spread it out a little bit more.
All right, I respect
And
that.
I mean, there's only a couple of guys off the top of my head I can think of that they have to have a big guy for defense-wise.
Right.
But I think Kalk plays I think he played 34 minutes a game last year. Plays a lot.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not necessarily a negative to the point where I'm like,
That's
scared.
a question. Yeah.
I just wanted to see, like, that's always been the thing. When Kalk go out, Creighton don't look like the team that,
especially defensively.
right.
Yeah.
That's my only thing.
My question is like the front court. The front court depth is incredible. We're gonna talk to Steven Ashworth later, but they got a whole bunch of 4s. They have some 5s and backup 5s.
McAndrew, Trout, Green, Miller.
Yeah, and they got some younger guys too that could also play. But you look at their backcourt, and you think you know what you're getting with Jemiah. You think you know what you're gonna get with Pop. Steven's gonna play a lot of minutes, but who are the other guys? They probably need one more of those other guys.
Like a Farabello?
Yeah. Who's the kid from Vegas? Look, the kid from Vegas. What's his name?
Sterling.
The guard.
You either talking about that's crazy. It's like
No, Sterling, right?
no, Sterling Knox.
Sterling Knox.
Sterling
So
Knox.
you're gonna need
Sterling
a guy
Knox.
like Sterling Knox to play a few minutes.
For sure.
You're gonna need some because somebody's got to take Fellow.
Somebody.
I think Bello had about 8 to 10 minutes.
He did.
So he's got to take those.
Right.
Nebraska plays St. Mary's. Their next game over in the Sanford Pavilion in South Sioux Falls. So you'll learn a lot more about Nebraska.
Right.
Playing that game.
Yeah, I haven't got a chance
Whereas
to.
Creighton plays KC.
Yeah.
Which not.
Hey, when is that game?
Which one?
The next upcoming game for the Huskers.
That's Sunday.
Okay.
They play Sunday.
All right, I'm gonna make sure I watch
at the
that. I'm gonna have
Pavilion
something for you
against St. Mary's.
from my perspective.
That you'll learn a lot about them. Now, if you want to say something that's worry for someone about Nebraska is they got 13 turnovers and 14 assists.
Damn.
That's what they're averaging. You're averaging 13 turnovers and 14 assists. That's
They
not a good
plus
balance.
minuses as a team though.
That's a
Usually
team.
as a player.
That's not good. That's not good. You're averaging that on so far, and they're only shooting about 25% from 3-point range.
Right.
So the last thing you want to see is that.
For sure.
Congratulations, of course. We're taping this on Thursday. Wednesday night, Coach Mack, all-time winningest coach.
Legend.
In Creighton history. I kind of compared him to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, they've had 2 coaches for like 30 years.
Right.
You just don't do that these days. It's pretty cool. Congratulations to him.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
That's pretty exciting for him, and it's awesome. So,
Right.
Of course, Nebraska plays Creighton on the 22nd.
Yep.
22nd. That's going to be a rocking CHI
It is.
for that game.
I honestly feel like Nebraska chances come from Creighton having a new roster, but they got Kalk, so I don't think it's going to be a different result.
Yeah, very true. And the one game where Nebraska won it when they won it a few years ago, I just remember Derek Walker had that great game against Kalk and kind of made Kalk look young.
Right.
But he's not young anymore. Now he's an old man. He's all married and stuff, too.
Right.
Coming up, we will talk to the Creighton point guard, Steven Ashworth, here on the Let It Fly Show.
Sunday, kind of
Let's just
love.
be purple down. I might. Hey, how you doing? Thank you.
I forgot the sausage.
Dad.
Oh my God. Perfect.
What's the password?
There you go. There he goes. There he goes. There you got it. He got it.
I want a Sunday. Kind of love.
All right, welcome back to the Let It Fly Show. We are joined by our guest, now in his 17th year of college, Steven Ashworth, Creighton guard, joining us here on Let It Fly Show. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Having a good 17th year. It's been a lot of
That's
fun
cool.
so far.
And on top of it, obviously married with a new kid. Josh asked the question when you first came in, how's sleep? How you doing? How you dealing with all the daddy
Yeah,
issues?
you know, people like that's the thing. They want to know.
They want to know.
Yeah, people are curious about it. Yeah, my wife Peyton, she does a fantastic job of trying to make sure I get as much sleep as possible, especially on game days. She's been great about taking all the night shifts, and the rest of the week I try to get up and make sure I help whenever he wakes up. But Tommy's starting to sleep better, so shout out to my guy Tommy. Hopefully he keeps it going.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah. How
How do you feel about like the future? I got 2 kids. We kind of talked about it. I already see my son like playing for Creighton or something like that. Well, what about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to have a boy, and obviously there's going to be some thoughts about what his career is going to be like, and is it going to be basketball, is it going to be another sport? But I'm just looking forward to the opportunity to being a parent and cheering on
Respect.
my son in whatever he decides to do.
Didn't your wife also start a business?
Yeah, she did.
She got a business. You got married. She got a business. She got a kid.
Business is
Win a national
booming.
championship. You got a lot going on.
Yeah, the Ashworth have a lot going on. It's been a fun off season. My wife, she has a business, Forget Me Not Floral. She does floral arrangements for businesses, for birthdays, anniversaries, just different arrangements. And then she also did Ryan and Rachel's wedding this summer.
Word. Plug that
inside job.
website. What? She got some information out
Yeah,
there?
it's really just Forget Me Not Floral on Instagram. That's how she's doing it, and then word of mouth. A lot of word of mouth
For sure.
marketing.
That's how it starts.
Yeah, and for her, it's the perfect kind of in between right now, to where it's not too busy, and it still gives her something to do to take time outside of just being a perfect mother.
Yeah. How do you feel about Omaha in general? A lot of people come here, play here, stay here. Yeah, you might want to hoop after this and all, but is Omaha a home, or what's the deal for you?
That's a good question. Peyton and I have started talking about that a little bit, of like what's life going to be like after basketball, and obviously after this season, hoping to still play professionally and continue to bounce the ball as long as I can and see where it takes me. But yeah, I think that Omaha is definitely a place that has become home for us, and we love it here. We love the people here. They're so supportive, and whether we live here or not, we're gonna be around Omaha. I can say that.
Respect.
Steven Ashworth joining us here on Let It Fly show. All right, so you decide you're going to come back, play another season. I know, especially at your age, you want to add something to your game or add something to your life or spiritually or whatever as you go along. What did you add during the offseason to Steven Ashworth?
Yeah, I mean, I added a kid.
With some help, yes.
Yeah, so that definitely changed my life in a very positive way. I felt like it's given me some perspective on just who I am as an individual outside of being a basketball player, which I think has elevated my basketball game. Just allowed me to play free and enjoy the game. And this season and every practice in it, I feel like I'm having a lot of joy. But on the court specifically, I feel like I watched a lot of film this offseason, trying to just develop more of a playmaking role for this team, becoming that true point guard with my shooting ability as well. And I think that with the type of talent and then also the roster makeup that we have, there's a lot of opportunity for a lot of guys. And if I can be that point guard that can get guys in situations where they're going to be successful, I think that's where the team's going to be most successful.
Averaging over 7 assists a game.
I know,
so
it's
far,
crazy.
3 games,
yeah. I mean, for me, hearing that and thinking about, like, you actually could average, like, double figures in assists is kind of like, it's like game to game last year, but this year I think it's more so, I can see you more so facilitating, Yep. Somebody I really want to see you get going is Jemiah. I just feel like there's something to his game that ain't came out. And, like, he's trying to get acclimated to how to get it out.
Yeah, Yeah, I get what you're saying. There's definitely parts of Jemiah's game that he's eager to show, what he's capable of, because he's going to be a huge piece for us coming down the stretch of this season. And as we get going into more and more games, you can already see how big of a threat he is in transition for us in the open court.
He
Really
had a layup. I thought he was going to dunk it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And so he's an athlete, and he's a real good basketball player. And so he's got a lot to show. And I think that, the more and more comfortable he gets in the offense of just the flow, because we don't have a lot of plays, right, when we're running. And once Jemiah is getting that feel, you can start him. It's starting to open, the gates to where he can go and what his ceiling really is as a player.
And you understand it, right? We've talked to Baylor about it. You come into a new system, you got to learn Creighton's way. You got to be able to do that. So how long did it take you to get to that point? And do you give advice to those guys who came in and joined the system?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of it comes down to, if they ask questions, I'll try to give answers. Everybody navigates it their own way. I certainly loved how Baylor, and Bello as well. He transferred in the system, giving me just pointers of, where they felt like I could excel and be better. And then it takes, some time, and it takes games. It's not just practice, because practice, there's a different pressure when you step on the court and the lights are on. And so some of that comes down to the fact that once you probably get, 8, 9, 10 games into it, I feel like that's when I really started to kind of hit my stride. Right when Big East started for me last year, I felt like offensively I was in a really good place. And then, now defensively, I feel like I'm also in a better place, which is a good thing.
I thought last year it was your defense when it started. I must use the word getting better, but I saw that coming around. I think that kind of funneled into your offense. I think you're right. And part of that was, I realized
that's one thing that I could control.
Yeah, I feel you.
I can go out, and that's an effort type of thing. It's a mentality thing, and so I think for a lot of players, that's a great way to start. Is defensively get yourself going.
Yeah.
Be communicating with your teammates, and once that gets going, then you have confidence because you're doing things right on the floor, and then the offense comes.
So this forward spot, I've watched a few games.
Yeah.
I think about last year. I'm like, oh, okay, they got Mason. Oh, okay, they got Jason. All right, they got Isaac. Who's starting the 4, or is Mac just trying to figure deal? Is it the lineup or whatever? Because I know consistently Isaac has been the last 2 games, but like, is it about him improving in strides, or like who's that primary 4 spot?
Yeah, I mean, the 4 spot's been a position that, we have a lot of talent at. There's those 4 guys you could say, you'd add Jackson to that as well as a young
Jackson,
freshman.
no disrespect. He's been hooping.
He has been, and he's done great. He's learned so much and has improved so much, and I'm excited to see his career as a Blue Jay.
He's going to invite him to the house just to feed him something.
Yeah.
Like, here's some red beans.
Yeah.
Eat up.
I'm pretty sure he's put on 10 to 12 pounds already. He's working super hard. But
Nice.
all those guys, I think it's coming down to Mac really trying to figure out certain rotations and what he feels like fits game to game as well. Because in some of that, when you have depth at that position, you can also match up to what they've got. We kind of have that flexibility. And so I think through the first few games, you've seen a few different lineups that we could start. And then all those guys are going to get minutes. And I think that game by game, it's going to come down to who finishes the game based on, what they're bringing to the table that game. And then what the other team is trying to do as well.
Steven Ashworth joining us. Obviously, last year you had so many veterans. It made sense that limited minutes were coming off the bench. Really, Bello was really the only person coming off the bench on a consistent basis. This year, do you see it changing a little bit? Because you guys have been playing a ton of minutes.
Yeah.
And I think that eventually, no matter how good Jeremy is training you guys, that can wear on you.
Facts,
do you see more bench minutes this year?
Yeah, I think, this season we just have a lot of different lineups that you can go at with, me at the 1, me at the 2, Pop at the 1, Pop at the 2. Ty Davis could play both. Jemiah could go 3-2. You could slide Jason all the way down to the 3, right? Mason all the way to the 3 at times. And so I think that the minutes will definitely be, a little bit less this year, and more guys are getting early opportunities, which I think just really helps their confidence when the games really start getting tight because, anybody can kind of go into a game when it's up 20 or,
it's a good
25.
It's like strength in numbers.
Yeah, right. Or even in the first half, right? It's not as much pressure, but when it's 4 minutes left and we need you to come in, I remember what it was like as a freshman, right? Like those are the moments where you're like, okay, really showing what you're capable of and figuring out who you are as a player as well. And so I think that these guys are starting to do that. So I think we're going to have a lot of key contributors in big time moments this season.
Have you had any time to watch UConn, other teams around the Big East? Like I've been really campaigning for the last 2 years that the Big East is the best conference in America. And that's been facts. Obviously ending by a back-to-back champion would be great if Creighton win it all, but like rivals are rivals, but what other teams do you feel like, man, they read up or this team is not as good? Like what other teams around the conference do you see?
Yeah, it's tough because I feel like especially in non-conference, you never really get everybody's full bite. They're not running all of their sets. They're not showing all that they're capable
everybody watching film.
Yeah, right. Because Coach Mac's going to pull up the film from the first game, see what you were running, and see if we need to prep for it. So.
You guys weren't running the whole offense against Houston Christian?
No,
I went to that. I was at that game. I don't want the full offense.
I know. You were trying to get some extra plays for to send to friends and family, but we didn't run them all last night, unfortunately. But it's fun to watch the Big East. I'm with you. I think the Big East has been the best basketball conference for the past few years. Yeah. This year I think it'll have to play out, and with so many conferences having so many teams now. It's kind of hard to compare side by side.
Facts.
The Big Ten has 18 teams. It's like, there's going to be some good teams in there, but at the same time, it's like, do the good teams have to play everybody, right? Where we have to play everybody twice, and just the gauntlet of that type of a structure to a season. And so I'm looking forward to Big East play when that comes, but definitely not looking past our non-conference schedule because we got a lot of quality games.
Yeah, it looks you could have 6, maybe 7, depending on what happens to that tournament, quad 1 games in the non-conference, which is incredible to think about.
Incredible.
So you got obviously got to replace Baylor scoring, Trey scoring, that kind of thing. Did you look at this offseason and say to yourself, okay, I know I got to get more buckets than I got last year? I know
you really do.
I know Ryan talked about doing that. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I think that there's definitely an increased load and an increased opportunity that comes with 2 NBA players leaving your roster, right? Sure. And we got some incredible transfers come in and some really good freshmen. And then everybody, I feel like, took it, to themselves man by man in the offseason to say, I got to get better and I got to improve on some things. And so I think as a group collectively we all did, but I think naturally my style as a point guard is always trying to be, what does the team need tonight? Right. And, does the team need me to be the facilitator, try to get guys going? Does the team need me to score a few buckets? And that can change, from the first 4 minutes to the next 4 minutes. And so there definitely will be an opportunity, I think, for me to score a little bit more and be a little more assertive. It's an exciting role to have as a point guard on one of the best teams in the country.
It's a good problem.
Yeah.
People got this stigma right now with Pop. Like, it's always like, and I guess it's a good problem to have, but I don't know if it's identity. Like, he didn't play one game, right? But the game before that, he went off. Mm-hmm. So, like, now people are looking at the roster, and this is just from what I see on social media and stuff, like, he's your go-to prolific guard in scoring and stuff like that. Like, obviously he can do that, but would that essentially be his primary role, you think, to the team? Or, like, would you consider him like a two-way player? Or what's his game, like, outside of the buckets?
Yeah, I mean, Pop can definitely get buckets. He can score at a high clip, was the leading scorer for Texas Tech last year. Yep. And I think that Pop came to Creighton for the opportunity to be an even more efficient scorer.
Oh, okay.
With shooters around him, a player like Kalkbrenner. And, it's been nice to be able to have opportunities where, he can be making decisions in pick and roll and I can be spotting up and spacing the floor, and then, vice versa. I feel like every time I pass it to him, he's knocked down the shot. So,
right, and so that's his job.
He came here to be a playmaker and to be a scorer, and I think that, his and my game complement each other super well. And then, defensively, he also adds an element to where, we can switch him and I, provides matchups like that. That we're not as worried about just switching because size or things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Similar type of bodies. So it's been super fun, and I think that his role is only going to expand as well as the season goes on.
He's got kind of a unique stroke, though.
It's the double pump.
It's just
double pump is.
I watch him like, is he going to shoot? Oh, he is shooting it.
But the way he shoot, it literally is. He'll jump and he'll double pump. I like that type of jump shot.
It makes it harder.
Yeah, it's like all of his shots, 3s and 2s, are all 2-point shots. Like his form.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's just a double pump shooter.
Unique to me. Last time you were on the show, you had a cool shirt. Everybody was asking about what's the shirt? What's the Bird Club? What's that?
The Bird Club is
how I get paid.
Is our NIL club and collective at Creighton. You can join and come to exclusive events. We got a movie premiere coming up in a few months. We just had a meet and greet after one of the games. Just an opportunity to get a little bit closer look at the team and meet the players, and then. If you got a family, it's a great family environment. Bring your kids and, sign some autographs, take some pictures, and get to say some hellos and some other events. So, pretty cool.
I got one more for him.
Go ahead.
My man should have 50, bro.
He's still complaining about that.
My man should have 50.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right, that's all. We're gonna leave it at that.
Yeah. But I'll be honest, like in the game, I didn't know. Like, I didn't know he was at 49. And Ryan and I talked about it after a little bit. But like, I went back and obviously we watched the game film of every game. Yeah. And it's like, man, there's a minute 30 left.
Man.
And we could have got you.
He could have 53.
Yeah, because like they were still fouling.
Right.
And it's like. Right. Because there was one where the crowd like booed because he got the rebound and he outletted it to me. Yeah. And he
was just playing basketball.
And they fouled me. And I hear the boos and I'm like,
he's in the system.
I'm like, I'm wondering why they're booing because are they just booing because they want the game to be over?
Right.
And they're like, the fans are mad that they fouled me. And then like when I went back and watched it, I was like, it clear as day. Right. Like, they're booing because they wanted Kalk to get fouled.
Man, look,
bro. Like I did too. I was like watching it back. I'm like, dang.
I got this thing where so after that game, I was kind of reflecting because my career is over, bro. And some of my best conversations and when people talk about my glory days and blah, blah, blah and all that stuff. But I think if I was on staff, I would be that coach anywhere in the country. Like, Coach, 9 rebounds, or coach, triple double. Like,
Yeah, let's get it for him.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I know you ain't hating, or
No,
your team
yeah.
ain't hating.
Yeah.
He missed 3. He's
Yeah.
missed 3 shots all year.
Yeah.
That's why I said they played 3 games
Yeah.
and he's missed 3 shots. And how many free throws have you made?
I think
first thing you did,
19.
yeah.
19 total.
All right, so now
That's crazy.
so now I'm like your unofficial coach.
Okay.
Keep that in mind,
Got
bro.
you.
And when
Josh called me. He said College got 49.
yeah, and you got 19.
Oh, okay. I got a text.
I didn't know the iPads got text. I thought they could show film.
But no, it was cool to see that, bro.
Yeah.
I think the way he's starting, I think with him, it's not even about who y'all playing. I just think he's trying to like ball out.
Yeah.
And so I think that opportunity is going to come again somewhere down the line, and that's going to be the difference between where y'all could be and where y'all actually going to go. I believe in him with that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're not from here, but you understand the Nebraska-Creighton rivalry.
Yeah,
That game's around
absolutely.
the corner. It's not the next game, but you got to think about every game one at a time. But thoughts about getting them in the house?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for that game. We went down to their place last season, so excited to get them at CHI, and just excited for that environment because it's always fun to have CHI packed, sold out,
Yeah.
and the crowd there early. You can definitely feel it as
Yeah.
a player, you know. When we come out for the last 30 minutes, and then when we come out for the last 5, like. If there's seats that are super open, it's like, oh man, there's not a lot of people. And it's a huge arena, right? So you understand, it can be hard to fill some nights, but when it's packed, when you come out at that last 4 minutes to do the layup lines and everybody's standing,
No doubt.
singing the songs, like it's an electric atmosphere. So
But
I'm
I
excited
don't
about
even know if it's like at this point if it's a friendly rivalry for them or what because of Creighton's dominance in it. But like, I just think it should be some tension and some beef. But it's hard to do it when Creighton is as good as y'all are every single year, bro. You know.
Yeah, I mean, Creighton and Coach Mack have done a really good job at building the program and have had success in the years past. And it's it's discipline. It's game plans. It's a lot of effort, and you've been a part of it.
Y'all don't foul.
And so
They don't foul.
And I think with today's era of NIL and football schools and the budgets that they have, they've got a really good roster, a lot of talent.
Facts.
And they've played some of the similar teams that we've played, so we can kind of see films on what they tried to do and how they tried to win those games and learn from all of that. And
How about saying shut that shit down?
But in the end, the goal, make it a blue state.
Yep.
For sure, man.
Yep. Especially for that night, make it a blue
No
state.
doubt.
No
Creighton
doubt.
blue.
You the man.
Team, we appreciate it, man, as always.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Yep.
All right, welcome back to Let It Fly Show. We appreciate Steven from joining us. As you mentioned, dude's busy.
I know.
He got a lot going on.
He responsible, huh?
He's responsible. That's right.
I wonder if he pay a mortgage yet.
We're just glad he could swing by and give us
no doubt.
15, 20 minutes.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Because it has been a busy time for him with a new baby at home.
Right.
Well, congratulations on that. Tommy.
Yeah.
That's kind of a really just laid-back name.
Steve's a laid back dude.
Tommy,
Yeah,
What's up,
right.
Tommy? How you doing, brother?
Hey, something I was thinking about? Colorado, man, is a bowl game team.
Yeah, well, they're definitely bowl game. They have a chance to play in the Big 12 title game,
Right.
depending on what happens. So they got Utah this week. They have a big game against Kansas in Kansas City the week after, which is going to be interesting, that game. But yeah, they're on pace.
I wonder if Coach Prime's vision is to stay and build that program, or will he potentially transition to the NFL as a coach?
Most people believe he'll go to the NFL.
And it's not bad if he do that, though.
No, I don't
right?
care. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, you always want to take the next level job.
Yeah.
Right? You always want to try to prove yourself against the best. The best coaches in the world are in the NFL.
That's fact.
The best players in the world are in the NFL. So you want to prove
That's
yourself
not the
there.
same for college basketball, though, right?
So I think so too. I mean, the security of coaching in college is far greater than the security of coaching in the NBA.
Yeah.
But I think if you want to challenge yourself, that's why Rick Pitino did it.
For sure.
Rick Pitino wanted to go. Billy Donovan. I mean,
Calipari?
They want to go challenge
Respect.
it. Doesn't
Yeah.
work? Go back.
Yeah.
You can go back.
I say go where your son go.
If you can. I mean, so right now, if you look at the bottom teams, so you got like the Saints are down there, you got Carolina,
The Cowboys.
the Jets are going to be down there, the Cowboys are going to be down there.
Yeah.
You got Tennessee's probably going to be down there, and so you got a lot of teams to choose from. But Prime has said he only wants his boy to go to particular teams.
So Dallas. I know it.
But if Dallas is not there,
They're going to tank, bro. They're going to tank.
But you still can't lose. They already won some games. You can't take them off your record.
True.
So To get number one's not going to be easy for them.
Can you get fined in the NFL?
And remember, they just signed Dak Prescott
for
to
a bigger deal.
Yeah, so I mean,
but that's like
it'd
a
be
curse.
tough. I know it'd be tough, man. All right, let's do the keys to the game.
Yeah.
First key to the game is this new offense.
Yeah.
Under Dana Holgorsen for the Nebraska Cornhuskers is like Thanksgiving.
Okay.
All right. So, what's the middle part of Thanksgiving? It's probably the boringest part, right? Turkey.
Yeah.
The turkey is your base. It's the boringest protein out there. It's not prime rib. It's not good seafood. It's turkey.
Yeah.
But who's the star of Thanksgiving?
To me, I feel like it is the side dishes.
The side dishes are the stars,
I'm about to name one specifically, but
you could, and that's
you're right.
You know, so you got some fried Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
You got some sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
You got sweet potato pie. Whatever you got. You got all these great sides,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's what this offense is.
For sure.
What's happening in the middle of the field is good. That's your base. But what Holgorsen does is he moves guys around. He's got pre-snap motion, make the defense either move or their eyes move. He crosses a lot of wide receivers to get some pick plays going. Everything he does is about the sides. It's about the appetizers. It's about all that. Now, if you can make that work, then you can come back to the turkey and you run the ball down their throat. That's the way it's supposed to work. Not saying it will, but that's the way it's supposed to work. Two players that should shine in this system based off of watching it for years. Jacory Barney should shine as a slot guy, move guy.
Okay.
And Jamal Banks, who hadn't done a whole lot this year, but the big X receiver in this system gets open a lot.
Yeah.
So those two guys should do pretty well.
All right.
Number two, key. You know Otis Redding, right?
Of course.
All right. Do
you know his famous song was about a breakup, though?
Yeah. Do you also know he didn't have a hit song?
Before I let you go.
His biggest song is Sitting by the Dock of the Bay.
Okay. I thought it was Before I Let You Go.
And then Try a Little Tenderness.
Oh, I know about that.
Those are two biggest ones.
Yeah.
But he didn't have a hit until he was dead. So when he died, they released Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. It went to number one.
For sure.
In that song, he says, watching the ships roll in and then watch them roll away again, right? That's Nebraska's defense in this game. Maivia is a guy, and I mentioned this earlier, throws a lot of picks in the middle of the field.
Right.
Yes, you want to pressure a quarterback, but you don't want him getting out of the pocket and running.
Right.
So you must rush him, you keep him in there, and you make him throw against the zone. You make him beat you.
Does he average, how many yards he average on a scramble?
I think he had about 12 and a half last year.
Boy, that's tough.
Look, he's a good runner.
That's tough.
And he's really a good runner in the red zone.
Right.
That's where he's really good.
Score.
But what you want to do is you want to just watch them ships come in.
For sure.
And then you take them out because taking the ball the other way.
Right, because they're throwing it.
In UNLV, he had 10 interceptions and 6 fumbles on the season. I mentioned 24 turnover-worthy plays. Most of those in the middle of the field into coverage.
Yeah.
So I said here, do like Otis Redding, sit back, watch the quarterback's eyes, and then you'll be the one rolling away with the football going the other way.
All right.
And then the last one, number 3, I told Val about this.
What's that?
You remember that song that Taylor Swift had with Future and Ed Sheeran? Remember that song? Okay, about 6 years ago or so.
I gotta go to Apple Music now.
So there's a
That's a weird combo, huh?
There's a line in the song. It's a really good music video. I watched it today. There's a really good line in it. It's she says, "I swear I don't love the drama. It loves me."
That's
It's funny to think about.
That's the devil.
Were you thinking about it, right? And that's Nebraska the last 7 seasons.
The devil.
All about the drama.
Yeah.
Right? They don't want the drama, but every time you look around, there's drama. Even this season. They're sitting 5-1. They're feeling good about themselves. They go to a bye week. What have we had since then? Man, drama. Right? You don't want the drama.
Right.
So, what you can do is do what the other Big Ten teams have done to USC.
What's that?
To eliminate the drama. So, the last 4 losses that USC has had, they've been outscored in the second half 55-28.
Damn.
55-28 in the second half in the last 4 losses they've had. That's what Nebraska has to do.
Come on.
Big old offensive line.
Right.
Got big old defensive line. You stay in the game.
Right.
You hold tight, and then you beat them down the stretch with your physicality. That's what you have to do. You may not want the drama, and the drama may love you, but you got to avoid the drama, and you got to get the 6th win.
Y'all following them?
Got to get 6th win, man. I wrote, said, wear them down, get win number 6, and reach the end game. The name of the song, by the way, is End Game.
Okay.
The end game this year is what?
Apple Music.
Get into a bowl game.
All right.
That's the end game, and that's what Nebraska need to get to. Predictions. You want to go first or you want me to go first?
I will go first.
Okay, you go first.
Man. All I can just think about is that drama that you're talking about.
It's drama, man.
Like,
Nebraska's been in the middle of drama.
Man.
So much drama. Mama's coming over going,
man, How about this? How many points USC average a game?
30. They average more at home than they do on the road, but their overall points per game average is 30.6.
All right.
They're fifth in scoring offense in the Big Ten at 30.6.
Where this game at again?
It's at USC. It's in Southern California in the Coliseum.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be drama.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a high-scoring game
Okay.
for the winner.
Mm-hmm.
I would say about I give it 27. 27-14.
27-14 USC or Nebraska?
Nebraska.
You going Nebraska?
Yes.
All right. I have a very similar score, but 27-21
Okay.
USC.
Respect.
All that I said about Nebraska, I believe. All those things they can do to win it. But they have to prove to me they can win a close game.
Respect.
You got to win a close game.
That's real.
They've lost a lot of close games. A lot of times in the fourth quarter, instead of them finishing like I've said them to do for the end game, they have been getting finished.
Damn.
So they got to get that done in order to be able to win the game.
I feel like you lose this change. Well, the last game changed the trajectory of everything.
UCLA. Yeah.
But you lose this one.
Yeah.
You got to prepare for next year.
Yeah, you still got to win more games.
No,
so
for
you
sure. But I'm just saying,
you got to beat
take
at
the
Iowa.
air out of
You're
the
going
momentum,
to a place that's not going to be loud, except for Nebraska fans.
Right.
Most of the fans there will be Nebraska fans. California's for Nebraska. Arizona's for Nebraska. Las Vegas for Nebraska. All of them going to be there.
Yep.
So you'll have the home crowd. You got a team that's 4-5.
Let's go.
Replacing their quarterback.
Let's go.
There you go. Special thanks to Steven Ashworth.
That was cool.
We appreciate him coming in and chatting with him. It was good.
Sure.
I think next week we're going to have Coach Mack.
All right.
We'll have Coach Mack next week. Executive producer, Phil McClain.
Yep.
On the Wheels of Steel, King Val Elvis.
Appreciate you, bro.
Matt Pittman came in early to make sure everything was working
seen him
okay.
on the way out. He had a dog.
He had a doggy with him.
Yeah, I'm like, get that damn
How much
dog
that
out
dog?
of here, boy.
Hey, no, we love the doggies.
Yeah.
Social media maven Meg here as well.
Appreciate you.
Yes, and special thanks to Bud Light, our presenting sponsor, as well. No matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, enjoying a volleyball match, playing some golf, hanging out here at Let It Fly Sports Bar, it is the thing to do. Easy drink, easy to enjoy. Bud Light brings you all those choices. And a reminder, youtube.com. Look up Let It Fly Show, subscribe, like the page.
And I love the dogs. It's just inside of a sports bar.
Yeah.
That's why I said that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And you know what? His doggy, a lot calmer than if I brought my yellow lab in here who'd be just jumping on everybody.
All right.
He'd be jumping on everybody. He'd be going nuts. Man would be going crazy. Yeah, exactly. So remember, youtube.com, Let It Fly Show, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you are. Subscribe, like. We appreciate it. We need your help.
Yes, sir.
Definitely. We back next week looking back at Nebraska USC and looking ahead to
that's gonna be cool to talk about.
the last home game of the season.
I know,
against
man.
Wisconsin. Josh, take us away.
Hey, it's Josh Jones here with my man Michael Severe. You know how we do it. It's a Let It Fly show.